Hey everybody, this is Pete Draxton from letpeteplan@gmail.com, and I am an agent for Boardwalk Travel Agency, and today we're going to talk about my favorite resorts. My favorite resorts. Um, we're going to take them from each category. We're going to mention some of the other resorts that are around, but we're going to take them from, the ones that I've stayed at and why I think they're my favorite. Okay, let's start down with the values. My favorite value resort um, that I've stayed at is probably, and I don't, this is pretty very much given, it's Pop Century. Um, Now, the room was nice. It was the biggest thing I like about it is that it has Skyliner access. We don't have to take our car to Epcot or Hollywood Studios. We can get on our on the Skyliner and just head to one of those two. Now, the other two parks we would have to get in a car or on a bus to go to, but the access to that. Now, you could say the same thing about Art of Animation, which is just across Hourglass Lake, but price-wise, I would go Pop Century. And sometimes it's just a little bit nostalgic because a lot of the stuff that's on there, especially for the 70s, the 80s, and even in the 60s and stuff, are stuff that I remember. 8-track tapes, cassette tapes, big wheels, all those things. Plus it just has a lot of different memories for there. Now, it's not because I've stayed there a lot. I've only stayed there once, and probably, I don't know. It's one of those things that if I stay there, it's with not my whole family, because my whole family wouldn't fit. There is only, you can only sleep 4 in those, but for my wife and my son and I, it's not a bad place to stay. Now, my wife, different story. It might be different for her. I don't know if she has a favorite value. It's not because she just likes to be closer to the parks, and of course you're not. However, the Skyliner does help out, and that's one of the reasons why in my values, Pop Century number 1. Now, over to the moderates. Now, this is very difficult to consider, is because what I'm going to tell you might not be considered a moderate, but it's in the moderate family. Walt Disney World still considers it a moderate, and there's going to be some changes coming to it, and I'm a little upset about this, and that would be the cabins at Fort Wilderness. They sleep 6. Your vehicle is very close to you. I mean, it parks right up at the cabin, and it's just the whole ambiance of Fort Wilderness. The ability to be able to walk in the park in that area, get a morning walk or an evening walk in before or after you go to the parks all day, is actually kind of nice. There's lots of other things to do. If I was it would definitely be one place I'd go if I was taking a staycation. It's just kind of neat. I would suggest that if you go there, you get, at least for part of the time, rent a golf cart around to be able to tool around, go up to the gift shop or the shop area. Probably my favorite dining experience is there in Fort Wilderness called the Hoop-de-Doo Review. And then we have, so that would be moderate. Now, if I was going for another moderate, I don't know. I would probably have to choose right now, and I didn't like it when I stayed there as much because it was really under construction, but now that the construction is done, I want to stay there now, is Caribbean Beach, and it's kind of the same reason why I would have chosen, I chose Pop Century, is because of the Skyliner access, being able to go to, as I said, Epcot and Hollywood Studios without even taking it down. But still, my favorite will be the cabins at Fort Wilderness, and they are going to be renovated here, I think, starting next year, into DVC areas. It's gonna take a little bit of time because I don't know if they're gonna level them and then just rebuild them into things that are there now. Okay, now for the deluxe. Now, I've stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, I've stayed at Polynesian, I've stayed at Contemporary. Just in the deluxe area. I've visited others. I'm going to be staying at the Yacht Club. As of now, of what I've stayed in, I would probably say the Contemporary is my favorite. One is because of the close access it is to Magic Kingdom, which is my favorite park. And then it's right on the monorail, which really only gives you, well, it could give you access to Epcot also. So with the monorail, you can get to both Epcot and the Magic Kingdom. You have to do a transfer at the ticket and transfer, but it's, both parks are available to you by monorail. Now it comes to a different thing. And I'll be honest with you, I've only stayed at one, and I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be my favorite. It's one of my favorites of the whole thing. I know it's my wife's favorite place to stay on site, as of now. And that would be Old Key West. It was the first Disney Vacation Club resort. We have stayed there a couple times. Once with a group, another family, and we stayed in a 2-bedroom, and then we stayed in a 1-bedroom with just our family at one time, and both times were awesome. It's you pull right up there, and so with that, I'd have to say Old Key West is there, and it has one of the best, I don't like to say it sometimes because I don't want people to know it. It's probably the best kept secret in all of Walt Disney World, dining wise, and that it would be Olivia's. It's becoming less and less of a secret from what I've gathered. So those are my favorites. As I said, I might change that deluxe resort favorite here pretty quick after I stay at the Yacht Club, but it's going to be hard to beat the Contemporary. Now, sometimes I like to say my favorite place in Disney is the place I'm at right then and there. And that might be the same case. I've not really ever stayed anywhere where I personally didn't dislike it, or disliked any of them. Um, I do know my wife has some. She wasn't too thrilled with Art of Animation just because of that whole idea that you were so far away. And at that point in time when we stayed there, we weren't used to driving everywhere, and we had to get on the bus. And we have a different situation sometimes there, that my son, who is pretty much wheelchair bound at Disney, um, transportation is definitely a big thing for us. Now the buses do accommodate us, and that's great. Walt Disney World is one of the best places to go, with a child, or with a family member who has mobility issues. Even though, as I said, one of the things is you walk, walk, walk. Well, to accommodate those people with mobility issues, Disney does a fantastic job. Now, with that said, if you are wanting to try some of the resorts that I've talked to you about, or that you have heard about, contact me, Pete Draxstrom, at letpeteplan@gmail.com. I'm an agent for Boardwalk Travel Agency, and hoping that you have a wonderful, magical rest of your day. And if you're at Disney World this week, look me up. I'll be at the Yacht Club until sometime Wednesday. Have a magical day. Bye-bye.